Good morning, friends. Anne here. Got my cup of coffee, got the Word of God, and today's reading is from Luke chapter 22, verses 19 through 22. Let's read it, then we'll talk about it. 19 says this: He took some bread and gave thanks to God for it. Then he broke it in pieces and gave it to the disciples, saying, "This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." After supper, he took another cup of wine and said, "This is the cup of the new covenant between God and his people, an agreement confirmed with my blood, which is poured out as a sacrifice for you. But here at this table, sitting among us as a friend, is the man who will betray me. For it has been determined that the Son of Man must die. But what sorrow awaits the one who betrays him?" Friends, this week we're talking about the sacrament of communion, of remembering Jesus through taking of the bread and the cup. But today, as I was reading, I went a little bit further into those last two verses that I read. And what really occurred to me was that Jesus lived with his betrayer, that Jesus loved his betrayer, that Jesus shared meals with his betrayer, that he shared his life with his betrayer. Friends, Jesus would have gone to the cross and did go to the cross for his betrayer. You know, there is a quote that says, "The test of Christianity is not loving Jesus, it's loving Judas." Friends, the thing that I want us to think about today is when we come to the table and we receive communion, that is a sign of God's grace for us. That is a sign of Jesus's love for us, that he cared enough about us to go to the cross for us. But he also cared enough about his enemies and his betrayer. He cared enough about the people that would remain in sin. He cared enough about the people like us who were in sin and even died for us when we had not yet accepted him. Friends, so many times I think we come to the table and we receive communion, and it's a reminder of God's grace for us. But then when we leave church, we close our hands and we do not offer that same grace to other people. When other people betray us, when they hurt us, when they lead others astray, when we become angry at them, when they're hard to deal with, when they're difficult to get along with, we close our hands. The same hands that received that grace in communion close and do not offer that grace to the others that Christ also died for. Friends, today I hope that this word challenges you, that you will love with the same grace that you have received. When you go forward for communion and you receive a reminder of that grace that God has given you, let that posture also be the way that you approach other people, not just people that you like, not just people that you love who love you back, but your betrayers. Approach your enemies. Approach those who are unapproachable. Love others with the same grace you have received. Have a good day.